Hi everyone, welcome back to the garden. I'm Lynn. Does your garden appear to just melt under the brutal July and August sun while some plants just wither and wilt away? Well, the ones we will show you today survive the intense summer heat while looking beautiful and supporting pollinators. We are adding more gorgeous buddleia next to the cool white of the extremely heat-tolerant Yarrow and so much more. Stay tuned. Okay, y'all, I'm back out in my Texas garden, Central Texas, Zone 8 to be exact. This is the last batch of plants going in the ground. We are getting a lot of rain, or we're getting rain, consistent rain over the next 5 or 6 days. So it's going to be the perfect time to get things into the ground, hopefully rooted in to the best of their ability before July hits, because you know what's going to happen in July. But this gorgeous rose of Sharon, I'm going to put it in the ground. I've decided that I'm going to keep it, and I think it's going to be a nice focal point and look great with other colors in the garden. So this is an image. Well, you see the flowers, and it wants full sun. Will become 8 to 10 feet tall, 6 to 10 feet wide. And this is a rose of Sharon. So this is one of the hibiscus that tend to perform a lot better here in Zone 8B, because the tropical hibiscus are more for, warmer climates like Zone 9. I have one cat's meow Nepeta left. I put one in the front planter. It's not going to stay there, but it's going to be happier there than on my back patio or someplace else. But this is the one that becomes about just under 2 feet high and wide. The cat's pajamas, which I have also, they grow a lot lower than this one. And I think the cat's pajamas, in my experience so far, I've been growing these for 2 years now. This particular variety, I've been gardening for over 20 years and I've grown Nepeta, but these particular varieties, I think the cat's pajamas, not the cat's meow, is a little more floriferous, but it is lower growing. This is just as gorgeous. And then I have some Angelonia. This one is the blue and this one is the purple. See the difference? And so Angelonia can deal with a lot of sun, and they do well in a spot like, for example, if you just need an annual, because they're annuals here in Zone 8. Where I'm putting them is just taking too long for something else that I have in the area to grow. And these were great price. They grow pretty quickly. So they're just there to fill in a gap. As is the case for this. And let me find the one that has the bloom on it so you can see what the blooms look like. But this is a white lantana. Now this will become 5-6 feet in width in one season. It will really take up some space. These dark green leaves with the little gorgeous white flowers, when it gets really hot, this thing will be in full bloom, attracting pollinators. No disease, no pests. It is Zone 9 though. Mine typically, these white ones, I have 3 out front, only 1 returned. I don't expect these to return. They are $6.97 is what I pay for them at HEB, a local grocery store, to fill out a space all season long, because they're only going to die when we get our frosts, which who knows when that's going to be. It was pretty late last season, but this is great for filling up spaces. But I really treat mini lantana as annuals here, although there is a Texas native. But as you know, Texas has Zone 9, 10, I believe 11. So yeah, it might be more of a true perennial in other parts of Texas. Of course, I got more of this Dolce wildberry Heuchera. If you watched my last video, I was talking about the part shade, part sun area where I was going to have them trailing the entryway. I've already done that on the left side, so I need to add these 2 on the right side. So I'll be planting these. I have this hydrangea that I'm experimenting with in my Texas proving grounds. This is the little quick fire panicle. You want something that's going to deal with the heat and humidity here in central Texas in full sun. Little quick fire or panicle hydrangeas, they tend to be about the toughest hydrangea for that type of environment. So I'm going to test this one out there. However, I'm not going to, part of that bed receives full sun up to sundown sun. And when I give my long bed tour, you'll see the plants that I've been growing there for a couple of years now that can deal with full sun up, sundown Texas heat. But this one, I'm going to put it in full sun, but only about 6 hours of sun. And that's what it wants here, but it says it can handle 4 to 6 hours of sun, and it is for zones 3 through 8, becomes 3 to 5 feet in width and height. But this is what I'm going for. This side right here, this image. Not so much that, unless it's in the fall. I've never grown this one, so we'll see how it performs. This Caryopteris, yeah, it arrived looking kind of sad, but it'll be fine. I've got to find a home for it. This is the Beyond Midnight Caryopteris. Okay, because this hydrangea is something that I'm testing out here in my Texas proving grounds, I am going to widen the hole so it's at least 2 to 3 times wider than the root ball of this pot that this plant is coming out of. And I'm going to put some biotone that's in the mason jar and some soil acidifier just to bring down the pH a little and to give some goodies for the soil that's here. This is among the best soil on my property, y'all. I mean, it is just so different from other parts of the yard. So I'm going to rough up the roots so they can spread out more easily. I am going to plant this high, but I'm also going to, once I put this in the ground, I'm going to go off camera, and the soil that I pulled out of the ground, I'm going to amend it with compost and a small amount of expanded shale to enrich the soil and also make sure that it drains well. I'm going to pack it in, and then I'm going to water it very well. Fingers crossed. Okay, y'all, it is 85 degrees and humid, and I don't have time to dig holes, so I'm using the 6-inch auger for this 1 gallon Beyond Midnight Caryopteris. And I'm going to pop it in here, going to put biotone in the soil, and then I'm going to water it well. However, I'm not going to complete it yet because I want to see how that hole drains. I don't have drainage issues over here, but sometimes there's a rock or something down there lower than where I dug that can cause drainage issues. So while I'm doing all this weeding with this weeding hoe, see these weeds? The weeding hoe is the perfect tool because I can just scrape and it picks it up directly from the roots. Now, I'm not going to separate the wheat from the mulch because the seeds that created those weeds, it's probably in the mulch too. Eventually, I'm going to scoop it all up and put it in the pot. And so that is one tip. Just get rid of it all. That's what I do. Now back to the Beyond Midnight Caryopteris. Everything was fine, so I'm adding a targeted emitter, and then I'm spreading mulch around the base of this plant. And then I am going to do a little bit of cleanup. When I'm cooking, I clean up as I go because I'm so exhausted when I'm done. The work that I can do in the interim, the better. So now I'm spreading mulch where I picked up mulch and where I did weeding. Hopefully, if there are weed seeds left behind, this is going to be thick enough to prevent sunlight and germination. And then there's just some bare spots and mulch that needs to be replaced. So I'm going to do that. And now I am getting rid of shoots at the base of this limbed up Summertime Blues Vitex. Y'all, these are shrubs, and when you want to grow them limbed up as a tree, they do require maintenance. So every 3 to 4 weeks or so, I have to get in and clean up the bottom if I want to maintain that structural trunk, all those curves that we love. Okay, y'all, so what I added, and it was added off camera because it's hot out, and so the camera keeps shutting off. But as you can see, Down here, I have added a couple of Japanese boxwood to continue the boxwoods on the corners. I had Chef's Choice rosemary, but it was just growing all over the place. And the boxwood takes better to trimming. The rosemary wasn't really looking so good when I tried to trim it off of the driveway. But gosh, y'all, look at this gorgeous Hopi crepe myrtle. I mean, there's so many buds that haven't opened yet. This is a really soft rose pink, so this is really gorgeous and looking great. I still have to add mulch down here. I'll probably just add a little bit of compost and a thin layer of mulch because, as you can see, we have all the rocks through here because there are drainage issues. The driveway drains right into this bed and it sends it down, and despite drains in this bed, French drains, things still get swept away. Okay, I'm going over to the pollinator bed now. Okay, you guys, this is I took out a lot of lawn. This space right here used to be all lawn. And last May, June, so end of May, June, we took out all this lawn that was going all the way down, so all the way back. There was nothing but lawn over here. Lawn, and of course this gorgeous Natchez crepe myrtle. Oh, isn't she gorgeous? But anyway, we pulled everything out, and this is a full sun bed, so we decided to make a pollinator bed. Now back there I have 3 Carissa hollies. They will become 3 feet in height, 5 feet in width. So you're not gonna see the mulch, you're not gonna see that equipment back there either. And that's the thing about spacing, trying to space things properly. You end up with these big gaps, but it is going into its, what is it, creep year. So I'm expecting it to start to fill out a bit next year because that'll be its leap year, if I'm doing that right. But what I planted out here are the lantanas. So there's 2, there's one over there, one over here. This one's the one that returned from last year. So this one in the middle is actually a bush lantana, and the 2 that I added, they are trailing, and they will become about 5 feet wide. So it's just going to kind of better fill out the space between all of the Carissa holly until these Carissa hollies get established. Now they are zone 9 to 11. I'm zone 8B. The 2, what was there were 2 shrub white lantana. They did not return. If these return, I'll be happy because, like I said, they will fill out the space permanently. If they don't, I'll figure something out. Now down this bed, I planted a Caryopteris today. So I have a bunch of, this is my Russian sage, and then I have rose marble salvia, but I have a bunch of Caryopteris over here. So a drift of them in this section, and I had an extra one. So what I did was I put one, and I'm going to walk over to the opposite side of this gorgeous crepe myrtle, and you'll see where today I planted another one of these gorgeous Caryopteris. So you see this little baby right here that I planted. It's gonna have the dark purple flowers. I call them blurple because they're bluish purple. Back there is a Henry Dulberg salvia. It reseeds all over the place. And so you'll probably saw in a previous video where I dug it out and I planted here. I think it was late April. And so it's already blooming and taking off. Over here is another Carissa holly. And then in the back, I have, those are kindly privets lining the fence. And as you can see, they are already 2 feet in height. Those were court plants that were added when I put in this pollinator bed. So I have some more things to add. If you look down the front, there's opportunity in the front for something very low growing. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think I want to add pops of pink. I have thought about adding more of the rose marble salvia and just continuing that down the front over here for consistency, but I don't know. Okay, next I'm going to show you the butterfly bush. So this is the butterfly bush. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but y'all, over here on the left, this is the exact same, lo and behold, buddleia. It is a seedless variety. It'll become about a little under 30 inches in height and width. This is the one that I just added a month ago. So it'll fill out the space nicely in front of these evergreens. And now let me take you to the backyard. Okay, y'all know I love the summertime blues Vitex. It's taking a little break, but it's starting to get some blooms again. So I had to come in and clean it up a bit on the base. But y'all, I figured out exactly what I want to do with the rest of the space. Back there, you'll see the Miss Violet buddleia that I planted maybe about 3 weeks ago. It's going to look gorgeous. These are deutzia. They are Yuki Kabuki. I like saying that. Deutzia. They have soft pink flowers in the spring, so I missed that. But they're already growing, so they're taking off. They're doing quite well. So I know exactly what I want to do with the rest of the space out front. I'm still going to put sprinter boxwoods right here, and then one right there, because if you look down there, I have sprinter boxwoods out front, so I'm going to carry that. Y'all probably getting tired of me talking about it, but I think this is the most formal part of this garden, and I think it's going to look gorgeous in time. So let me show you my hydrangea. And y'all, this is the gorgeous Rocksteady Vitex. This was a 1 gallon plant. No, I'm sorry. This was a 1 quart plant. I don't buy gallons usually. Look at these gorgeous blooms. But one thing I don't know if it still says that on the Proven Winner website, that it becomes 4 feet wide or something like that, 4 to 6 feet wide. This is year 2, and it is clearly, sweetie, how wide do you think this is?
8 feet.
Yeah, it's 8 feet wide. So word of caution if you grow it in Texas, but it is gorgeous. Look at that. In fact, it is swallowing my Beyond Midnight Caryopteris. So I'm going to move the Caryopteris over to the left a little, and then I'll probably add another one, maybe 1 or 2. But there is the hydrangea that I planted. So it's doing well. Didn't go through any major shock here. And it is 3 p.m. So it is definitely getting some afternoon sun here. This whole area, y'all, I have to rework. Last year we had flooding, and a lot of the rocks ended up down here. As you can see, this is a sage at bisalvia. Look at the base. This is just from this year, the rain that we got a couple of weeks ago. We got about 4 inches 1 week, but it came down in a short amount of time, and all of this pea gravel slid into it. That's not good for the plant, but one of our goals, what we're going to begin this year, is definitely taking out all of the pea gravel. And this Catawba crepe myrtle, this was a 3 gallon plant from Home Depot that I planted. This is going into its 3rd year. So you'll see how big things, how tall and quickly things grow. So it is about, looking at my husband who's 6'5", who's taller. It is. So it is somewhere around 7 feet in height. And, you know, this is its 3rd year. Now this one only becomes about, 12, 15 feet. So it is a smaller one. It's not like the gorgeous Natchez that can hit 30 feet in height. Look at the dragonfly. Isn't that gorgeous? You see that down there? Mm-hmm. Eat the mosquitoes, eat the mosquitoes. Now this is my Olivia Rose Austin. And she needs a little iron. Look at the dark green veining and the light green leaves. I have really been neglecting this part of the yard. Denim and lace Russian sage out front with weeds growing into it. I've really got to get over here. But the reason why I'm pointing out this beauty is this is another one that I think they say becomes about 4 to 5 feet in height and width. And she is clearly 6 feet. And this is her 3rd year. Okay, over to the mott of trees as promised. This is the final thing. So I already had one of these Dolce Wildberry Heuchera out here, and I added 2 more. I have to get some irrigation on them so they can be happy, but as you can see, they're in filtered sun, part shade. And the Caryopteris salvia out there beyond them with the pretty purple stalks, I ordered a 3-gallon size with the intention of dividing it, and then I'm going to add it, kind of have it around this Heuchera to here. It was such a hot mess when it arrived, y'all. It's going to be on my patio until the fall. I will not trust it to be divided or planted anywhere until probably September. Okay, y'all. Well, that's it. I am planting. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm planting one more thing because there was an order that I forgot about, and I contacted Home Depot. It hadn't shipped yet, and well, I said, well, cancel this if you haven't shipped it. And of course they shipped it. So, but look at my oak leaf hydrangeas. Aren't they looking gorgeous? So they were white, then they were green, and now they're starting to get the pink tones on them. I just love these oak leaf hydrangeas. I'm telling you, y'all, this mott of tree space, this area is going to become oak leaf and panicle hydrangea land. I can't wait. Well, thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. If you're planting anything that you're excited about, share it in the comments. I do read and respond to the comments. I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope you have a great day in your garden and a wonderful summer. Bye.